Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do start, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. Now, we had Deku, and we also had the group. Now, Izuku was attacked by the zombie Sero. Sero used his quirk, and was able to disregard Bakugo at the time by covering his eyes with tape and throwing him across the room. Now, Sero bit Ochako on the arm and Deku on the leg, and Deku then proceeded to do one simple thing. He bashed his brains in with a metal coffee pot, and that was quite the interesting way to go. Now, Deku, he was alarmed by what he did. However, everybody could agree on one simple thing. It had to be done. And Bakugo, he's already had a few things go through his mind. While he was on watch, he was trying to understand how this all might work. I mean, the idea that they're dealing with fictional zombies in real life, it just doesn't make sense. All Might's turned, Endeavor's probably turned, and, well, if he's correct, everybody with a superpower in this school is either infected, alive, or a zombie. And from what he can tell, zombies can use their abilities. Some are luckier. Some can use them and some can't. So that's definitely an issue. And Bakugo, he had a few thoughts cross his mind whenever he saw Deku and Ochako be infected. And it definitely is quite bad. Deku is expendable to him, because he might turn anyways, but they don't know for sure. And Bakugo, he's more willing to take off Deku's leg than he is to let him die. But, I mean, yeah, it might already be too late for them. And right now Bakugo, he is trying to lead the group, but Deku, he's still trying to process everything. As they head out of the teacher's lounge and see currently a lot happening. The walls are covered in streaks of blood, and there's a body at the end of the corridor. And Deku, he does stare on, concerned, confused. I mean, quirks stop working, and zombies are a thing. But these people, they're not dead. They're losing their minds, right? I mean, there's no way this is just actual undead people. Everyone was alive yesterday. Nobody died, had their heart stop. It just does not make sense. Now, they do get to the end of the hallway. And Deku, he does a turn. Him going to look at the wall map as he has to see it covered with streaks of blood. Him gonna bring his hand up and avoid touching it, pulling his hand back for a second. The map, it says the office is down the hallway. A bit further down? Right. So how do we get there? Now, Deku, he has a turn to Bakugo. And Bakugo, he does get to turn his head, staring at the hallway that should lead them there. However, it is blocked off by a wall of ice, and it's melting their way. Lovely. So a good portion of the school is covered in water, and it's summer, so it should only take them a few days to see that glacier thaw out. Great, real great. They can't get there, so now they have to go downstairs, and hopefully things are different there. Now, Deku, he does a turn. Him going to see a zombie sitting there down in the middle of the stairwell. Him seeing a weapon. Now, Deku, he has a turn. Look at the corpse as he has a step over the one in the hallway and make his way down the staircase. And everyone, they get to see Deku do that. Him going to actually bend down and grab the weapon. Him going to actually pull out the metal bar as the person, they do actually someone to turn their head, looking at Deku. And Deku, the moment he has to see that, he has to stumble backwards. Bako quickly gonna run down the stairs and turn, grabbing the bar with his left hand and shoving it out into the person's head. And Bako, he has to step backwards as the person's head, it does go to drop. Now, everyone, they do stir on. Bako going to actually try and compose himself as his turn to Deku. And Deku, he doesn't look down and away. Now, Bako, he has to turn and tell Deku that he needs to put all that aside right now. I'm going to turn and grab the bar, pulling it out of the person's head, and going to turn back to everybody else, expressing to them, they're a large group, and they need to stay quiet. So, right now, be careful and move slowly. They don't know what's down there. Bako going to turn to Deku, handing the bar over to him and telling him, lead the way. And Deku, he does stare at Bako for a second, confused, before it does somewhat click in his mind. He wants him to be first, handle any threats. He's using him as bait. Now, Deku does stare at Bako, and Bako, he does stare at Deku with an expression, as it's not sincere. I'm going to bring his hand up, grabbing the bar and getting onto his feet. And Bako tells him he's already been bitten. They don't know what could have happened to him yet. If he does turn, they'll do him a favor and put him down. But right now, it's safer if he's first. Where's your emotion, Bakugo? Listen, we need to get out of here alive. I need to find my parents, Izuku. I can worry about all of that later. I just need to get home. Right. I'm worried about my mom too. I know. Listen, just don't think about it. Just lead the way. Now, Deku does a turn. Him going to make his way down the stairs and look around, seeing a zombie at the end of the hallway. It facing away from them and shambling into a room. Now, Deku, he does go to actually turn left and make his way down the hallway. Right now, some of the doors of classrooms being closed and some are still open. And Deku, he has a turn looking at the first open door, as currently the room is covered in blood and there's a hole in the wall. And Deku, he does not like the look of that. Him going to actually turn and look inside the room, as there's a zombie laying there eating somebody. And Deku, he does actually turn and continue to move forwards. Now, they do see a few things, and currently there actually is a zombie that is staring at them. One that's a bit more intrigued, and it plans to stay in the shadows, since it's following basic instinct. And it is very hungry. Now, the zombie, it's trying to do what it can. Hunt and have the best advantage. That's the only thing going through his mind. He's just so hungry and he just needs something to eat. They just smell good. Now, the zombie, he does go to continue his stalking of the group. And right now, everybody, they do one simple thing. They make their way down the hallway. And Deku, when he does need to, he does take down another zombie. However, yeah, it does make some noise. And that is a bit of an issue. Them finally getting to the door, and Deku, he does bring his hand up, trying to pull it open as nothing's happening. Now, it is a bit concerning. Ham going to bring his hand up and whisper, as he's trying to ask if there's anyone in there. Now, there's dead silence on the other side, and Deku, he does get at least trying to ask if there's anyone in there because they're not infected. They need help. Just please, whoever's in there, their group is not that big. Just let them inside. Now, Deku, he does stand there. And there currently is somebody who they've been trying not to freak out. Ajano Ochako does a rush forwards. Her bringing her hands up and slamming on the door, yelling about how none of them are infected. Now, Deku immediately turns to Ochako. And Bakugo, he does a step forwards, grabbing Ochako and pulling her backwards and away. Her screaming out that they're human. Now, that is an issue. And currently, zombies, they heard somebody ring the dinner bell. Now, Deku, he just stand there. Him gonna turn, as another actually where a zombie, it does come walking around the corner. It staring at all of them before it is gonna bend down. And Deku, he's confused. As right now, it does gonna stand there. More like a dog on all fours. Now, Deku, he's gonna turn back, pounding on the door that there's zombies incoming. Please, just let them in. Now, there actually is on the other side. Somebody, they were debating it. And if they keep up with that, they're gonna make too much sound. Shit. Now, they actually do go to open the door. And Deku, he does go to step inside. Them staring at him for a second and seeing that he's carrying a weapon. Him still covered in blood. Now, the zombie does get to start charging down the hallway. And there currently is where everybody, they do try to get inside. Now, Ochako does run in behind Deku. And then there's Bakugo. And then there actually is everybody else. As we do have Ochako. Ochako, she runs over and tries to hide under a desk. As Todoroki, he has a turn and stare directly at the zombie. Him gonna bring his hands up and going to try to use his fire. Since, if he can just scare it away, that can do quite a bit. Now, Todoroki, he does try to blast at his flames, as right now he has to stare down at his hand confused. And there actually is Bakugo. Whenever Todoroki is directly smashed into by the zombie, he has a turn. Him going to actually run out of the room and bring up his left hand. Todoroki having the zombie bite Todoroki down into his shoulder, as Bakugo, he has to bring his hand up. Him going to try and make a spark. However, one thing does happen. Bakugo, he sparks a massive explosion. Another zombie being sent flying down and smashed down to the ground. Most of its back torn open, as Bakugo, he actually has his back smashed into the frame of the door. Him, feeling his shoulder, gets struck with an amount of force that's very hard. And Bakugo, he does this all at once in pain. Him going to actually look at Todoroki and then going to turn back to the room, looking down the hallway, and going to stare back at him. Since another zombie is currently bolting down the hallway. And there currently is actually Ida, who does get a step forwards. Him actually going to look at the zombie and turn to Bakugo. Bakugo standing there, bringing his hand up to his arm. Ida, he does a turn. Him asking somebody for something as Deku, he does stare at that. Him going to actually step forwards as there actually is Kirishima, who could actually bring his hand up and toss over a wrench. Now, Ida, he does grab it out of the air. Him going to turn and look at the zombie, as currently it is a smash right into him and pick him up. And that, it's quite alarming, as there actually is the other zombie trying to get back up onto its feet. Todoroki going to actually look up and see Ida. Since that guy, he probably has a super strength quirk. And Ida, he actually is then turned and thrown directly at the wall. As he does, gonna smash into it, and Bakugo, he has to try and bring his hand back up. Now, there currently is Denki, who does try to step out and bring up his own hands. Him going to try and look around and see what he can do. And everyone, yeah, they're not too sure. Right now, Bakugo turns to Denki and brings his hand up. Him going to actually push him back inside as he steps forwards, grabbing Todoroki and dragging him into the room. As Ida is left on his own with that zombie. Now, Bakugo, I just going to pull Todoroki inside, someone just throw the door closed and lock it. Right now, them going to step back as everyone, they do fall silent. And Ida, he does begin to scream, along with the sound of what they can assume was him trying to use his quirk. Now, with that being said, everyone, they fall silent. And that is tough. And right now there actually are some people, they do a turn looking at Todoroki, since he was bitten right in front of all of them. And this is not good. Now, people, they do wait until the screaming does stop. And then, they all do get to sit there. As someone in the room, they try to talk to Bakugo, since he might be the man in charge. Now, Bakugo, he does hear a lot of them try to talk about it. They don't want their group here, especially because they already had to try and help other people. I mean, they all, they don't know what to do, to be honest. It's not good right now, and with how things are, this room does not have much space for more people. So, when things die down, his group is leaving, and they'll take his infected friend with him. Now, Bakugo just stand there holding his shoulder and trying to express to them they're not friends, they're classmates. Besides, their other friend turned. Hmm? Thought you said you were classmates. I mean, you know what I meant. Listen, we just need some tools. Then we can get out of here. I mean, I'm gonna turn and express. They only got that. And the person, they stared directly at Bakugo. As Mei does they sit there. Her turning her head and talking about how they should probably put down his infected friend then. Now, everyone is going to turn staring at Mei. And Mei does try to reiterate. Their friend was bitten, and he used his quirk. So, he's probably fucked. Now, Bakugo does this stare at Mei. Him confused and stepping forwards. What are you talking about? You don't know? Oh boy. Yeah, no, it's really bad. We had this guy. He decided to you know, he was infected. He just offed himself? Went on his own terms? Not the worst way to go out. I mean, end up eating your friend's face? Or, you know, take your pick. I mean, he tried to help and he got pretty far. Though he kept trying to use his ability. He just started to melt? I don't know, like a candle, I think. Now, Bakugo does a turn looking over at Deku, since Deku has not used his ability. And Bakugo, he does a turn looking at Ochako. And Ochako, she does get to bring her hands up, her tapping her finger pads together. And that, it does make Bakugo try to think, since he doesn't know Deku's quirk, but clearly it's not a mutant type. So, he's not infected. At least not yet. And then there's Ochako. Her quirk has to do with gravity, right? No. He does a step forwards, walking right up to her and asking her, how does her quirk work? Hmm? What? What do you mean? How does your quirk work? Tell me, now. Oh, um, I have to... We're gonna bring her hands up. And going to put her fingers together. Bakugo, bring his hand up. I'm going to stop her from doing that. Listen, I'm pretty sure you figured it out. Now, Bakugo does a turn looking directly at Deku. And Deku, he does stare at that. Since he was trying to understand this too. It's just a theory, but I mean, Sero was a mutant type. And the moment he was bitten, he turned. But I mean, his quirk is tape? That's weird. Okay, so this just doesn't make sense. Okay, it's got to be something. There has to be a trigger. I mean, no, that's weird. Okay, so a mental trigger? No, not adrenaline or endorphins, like the activation of their quirk, the part of their mind that's responsible for it. Now, Deku, he does try to voice this, and everybody in the room, they're kind of surprised hearing about it. And there is actually Ochako, who does go stare down at her hands, since if that's true, then her grabbing an object could make her quirk activate. Now, Ochako has a few things going through her mind. Has she already used her quirk? Now, it does somewhat terrify her. And Bakugo, here's a turn to Deku, walking over and trying to ask him if he used his ability. No, I haven't. What about you then? If it's related to the quirk malfunctions, you activating your quirk, it could cause it. Now, Bakugo is going to bring his hand up. Him looking at his right arm, and then going to actually bring up his left arm. Him wincing in pain and staring at that. I'm fine, though my hand's a bit burned. Right. Okay. We have to get out of here. Then looking around the room, and May does a turn. Her going to start working on her machine again. As Deku does going to try and ask exactly what that does. Oh, don't worry about it. Besides, it's not complete. Right. Listen, I got a lot of projects to work on, so don't bug me. Besides, we'll probably be stuck here for a while, at least until things do die down. Die down? Yeah. Might take a few days, but it'll be bad. If we can get to the school cafeteria, though, we'll be okay. At least we'll be set on food for a minute. Though I'm not too sure how dangerous it might be. I mean, I heard Mike screaming earlier yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Yeah. But, anyways, he needs to be dealt with, along with probably the other pros who've turned in the school. Now, everybody does get to turn to May, because the idea of trying to fight a zombie pro hero? Yeah! I mean, they're only just normal teenagers with uncontrollable power right now, so, zombie pro, or the idea that right now their abilities could turn them into flesh-eating monsters. Hmm. 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 Yeah, options are very limited right now. So, there's a lot happening. Now, everyone, they're still trying to figure things out. And while all this is happening, Deku, he does sit there for a second. Right now, him sitting against the wall and just trying to understand it all. And somebody, they do come to walk over. Them going to bend down and hold up a jumpsuit to Deku. And Deku, he does go to actually bring his hand up. Oh, uh, thanks? Your shirt's covered in blood. Oh, yeah, yeah, sorry. You want to change? I mean, it's sort of distracting. Now, Deku, he does sort of understand. And everyone, while they are doing that, Deku, he does actually try and stand up. Right now, him getting onto his feet, as Ochako does a turn seeing him. Her quickly gonna walk over and try and ask him a question. And Deku, he does get turned to Ochako. What's up? Do you think that we'll make it out of this? I I don't know. I just I want to go see my parents. They've got to be alive, right? I mean, my dad has the same quirk as me. What are the odds that he turned? They would have figured it out, right? Or no, no, no. All Might's already turned, and most emergency services, they're turned. They all have quirks, and the pros. We have Endeavor and All Might in the city, and everyone they've interacted with. No, 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 no. Now, Ochako, she's losing it. And Deku, he does stare at her for a second. Not sure what to do. However, Ochako does do one thing. Just a step forwards and hug Deku. And Deku, he does drop the jumpsuit. Him bringing his hands up and hugging Ochako. Him trying to understand quite a bit. Don't think about it. That's what Bakugo said. But I mean, it's hard to stop thinking about it. Once you start, you get the idea. I mean, he's calm and covered in blood. Not a good second day. Though, I mean, they just got to solve the issue, solve the problem. They're still on the third floor. Or, no, shit. They're still pretty high up. So, oh god, that means a lot. Right, right. They should probably get out of here, if possible. Could they... Oh god, the idea in his head. There are cars in the parking lot, but he doesn't know how to hire one, and the only idea that comes to mind is a pair of keys. So yeah, not ideal. It flashing through his mind. And Deku, here's our turn. Rano Ochako letting go of him asks her to turn and sit down, trying to think about something. She has an idea, and she's not sure she likes it. There are a few ideas going through her mind. Ways to get out of here. Ways to solve the problem and figure it all out. But I mean, will it actually work? Or is she going to turn? Now, Deku, right now he does a stand up. Him going to look around the room and walk over to the chemical shower. Him going to slide the curtain closed and go to change. And everyone, they are still somewhat muttering to themselves. Todoroki is receiving medical aid. And Denki, he does sit there with Kirishima. Right now, him thinking about a lot. Kirishima thinks that they could have helped Ida. But I mean, he froze again. He just fucking freezes so much. If it was just a man, just man up and just, damn it. He doesn't have a superpower too. Or, no, he can do this. That going through his mind. If what they said is right, you need to be bitten in order to turn. And if their quirks are all physical based or emitter types, and his is just hardening his hands, he can get them out of here. Now, it does get to Kirishima's mind. If he just armors up his hands and just doesn't think about it, tries to just step forwards and take on everything he can, he could save them. I mean, he just has to make sure he doesn't hold back. And that runs through his mind. The idea of his hands turning very, very solid, or lightly solid. And Kirishima, he doesn't bring his arm up. Him trying to do so right now. And everyone, they are focusing on their own things. Right now, Bakugo's trying to talk to their quote-unquote leader of the group and discuss many things. People are working on projects. Some are just trying to sit there and wait this out. And Deku, when he finally started to open the curtain, he has a turn. Right now, him gonna see Ochako opening up the window to let some air in. And Deku, he does sort of turn his head looking at her. As right now Ochako does just stand there for a second, staring out at the fires that are still burning from yesterday. Some of them are, God, they weren't even able to see over here. Her turning her head and staring at many of them in the distance, not sure about what to do. There's one idea that has crossed her mind, but it sounds crazy. I mean, would they survive the fall? Her looking out, wondering. She just activates her quirk and uses it once, falls down enough and gets away. It's an idea. Something that can work? I mean, it's one use couldn't hurt, right? Just one? Now, Deku does a walkover. Ochako turning her head, seeing Deku in the suit. Somewhat gonna jump because he interrupted her train of thought. And Deku, he does try to tell her. He doesn't know. What? When they might rescue us. I mean, there's still heroes out there, right? Yeah. I wouldn't say that. You wouldn't? No, I don't know, okay? I'm scared too. I mean, Ida, he didn't deserve that. Now, Ochako does go look at Deku. Her gonna actually turn around and sit down, letting the air outside come in. And Deku, he has to sit down too. These two are probably infected. I mean, there's no real way of knowing. Deku's been okay so far, and Ochako seems fine. Todoroki's bitten, and probably a few other people. So this is all pretty bad. Now, a lot does go through Deku's mind. And currently, there actually is Mei, who has a turn seeing Deku sitting down, looking at the window and seeing that it's been cracked open. An idea, it does get a flash in her mind. I mean, yeah. Could work, could not. So, maybe some of them can come together. Bring together the scrap materials they do have. I mean, she already grabbed a good bit of material. But, well, holding up in this classroom won't last for very long, and last time she checked, that half and half guy, he fried the Beast Man? Okay, so, well, the furry's down, they need to get out of here. Because she's not really hoping to run into a few of those pros. That going through her mind. And currently, Mei does start to work on one thing. An idea. Hopefully, to get them out of here. And to make sure all of them stay alive. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.